I love selling options. It's incredible. I keep saying the same stuff over and over again, and I'm showing you exactly how I did it. I just made over $700. I'm in a trade currently where I'm up another 400, and I'm also in a trade where it did not go well for me, and I'm actually down some money. And I'm going to show you a trick you might not be aware of, where you can actually roll out those trades and manage it a little bit better. Give myself a little bit more time to actually have the trade come back around. So let's break down in this video what it is I'm talking about, what I was looking at when I put on this trade, and how it worked out for me, and how I was actually able to make the profit. And then at the end, I'll show you exactly how I mitigate my risk and give myself a little bit more time if the trade happens to go against me. So let's get started right now. So here I'm looking at ANET, and this is where, we can go here and we can see I made 645 bucks on it. I actually made over that, about 700. It's just showing me for what I made today. But I took off the trade because I didn't want to let it run and then go against me. But essentially all I'm doing, if you follow me for a while, when the stock wants to get out of the Bollinger Band, you see the blue line here. When it gets out of the Bollinger Band, it gets out of the Bollinger Band just like here, it gets out, it wants to come back in. And that's all I play against. So here we went from, on one day, 176, and then in 2 trading days we were all the way up to 211. Now that's quite an extension, and we found ourselves over the Bollinger Band. So all I do is come in and I sell. I sold the 210 option contract at the time, 7 days out or 5 days out, and I buy the 215. That gives me a credit, and it's called a vertical spread. I don't want to get too down into the details because the video will take too long, but check out my channel. I break it down a ton in tons of videos so you can see it. But basically on principle, when the stock gets out of the Bollinger Band, I just sell calls either close at the money or just above, and I wait for that eventual turn down. Well, we had that turn down, and then I was able to make $645 or over $700, which is pretty great. Now we have one as well. American Tower is doing the same thing. So you can see I'm getting hit a little bit. I was up before. I'm only up 300 now. I was up pretty decent before because we can see the stock was all the way down here, bouncing off the 15 EMA, right? So now it's come up and gone against us because the market is going on quite the run today. So I got to decide, whether it is I want to get out of this trade or not. But basically, look what happened, right? This went on a crazy run as well. So it's all the way down at 162, and then it finds itself after a bunch of days flying up all the way up to 193. We're also outside of the Bollinger Band. So I sell calls kind of just at the money. So I sell, what did I sell? I sold the 185 and I buy the 190, a vertical spread. I end up getting a credit for that. You can see I sold the 449. I buy the 212. The difference, I get to have a credit. And then as the stock comes back down away from there, I actually make some money. Now, this can end up being that it bounces down off the 15 and continues up and goes against. So after this video, I have to decide what I want to do. Because if we go to the Analyze tab, if this stock kind of gets above the blue line showing me at expiry profit and loss, I could make $711 if the stock stays where it is right now by next week. It's going to expire on November 17th, so next Friday. So I could make $711, and you can see right now with the purple line showing me real time, I'm up 292. But if the stock continues and it comes up over 185 essentially, then I'll start to lose. And you can see here I won't lose, but I'll start to lose potential. And then eventually when we get to this red line here and we go over 187.38, I'll actually start to lose money. So I need to kind of mitigate my loss and see what I think and everything like that. But I just wanted to show you the basic principle. When it gets super overextended beyond the Bollinger, I sell calls and they come back down. Now we can come over here to Len. Len is one where I'm actually losing. So I think I was down $600, which is not good. I did not follow my rules. I didn't stick to my plan, and now I'm paying for it. So I'm trying to be real for you and tell you, like, obviously I make mistakes as well, right? And so when I put on this trade, we had the same thing, right? We're extended at 106. We get all the way up to 122. We're a little bit extended. There wasn't a ton of news going on here either. The volume is steadily dropping. So I sold calls up here, and you can see that I'm down 157. But before I said that I was actually down 645. So unfortunately, because I did not stick to my rules, it went beyond my stop loss. I shouldn't have had it. Like, I should have had it around here is where I should have got out. But I didn't stick to my rules because I was like, oh, well, you know, it's overextended. I think it's going to come down and blah, blah, blah. And now I find myself in trouble. So how can I actually get myself out of this? There's a couple different ways, but one of the main ways I like to do it, and I will preface it with it's risky, okay? So it's not something you want to do all the time. But I do think because we have the descending volume and overall it is very extended and it's gone on a very big run, I do think at some point it's got to come down and touch this kind of, you know, the 15 EMA. What I can actually do is come, so you can see I had the 116 and the 121 call. So if you right click on that and you hold control in Thinkorswim, you can actually come here. So I'll do it on this one because this is live. You right click and you say create rolling. So because it was going to expire today and I was going to lose $650, but I believe that if I give myself another week or two, the price will come back down, I can roll out these options. So I end up, the system will do it for me. So I can actually say, okay, these ones get replaced with these ones out next week. Now, sometimes you do have to extend because you can see I had the 116 and the 121. Well, I had to widen it a little bit so that I could get a credit. So I went to the 115 and the 121. Now, this requires a little bit more capital and all that, so you have to have enough capital in there. It's not a ton or anything like that, but you have to be aware. And then I'm increasing my risk as well, right? So I've already lost 650 on this. I'm being real with you. And then I have this blue line here and it's showing me if it ends up being here, I'll lose another 465. Look over here. So if the stock ends up staying up here the whole time, I'll lose another 465. That's going to be over $1,000 in losses. That sucks. But if it continues back down like I'm hoping it will and, you know, thinking it will statistically and probability wise, and it gets down to about the 115, which would be just around here, right around the green line, and we kind of come back down to the 15 EMA. If we get back down there by next week, then I actually have the potential to make 1335. So instead of losing 650, I can bring myself back up to make 1335. Now, I'm not recommending doing this every single time and always stick to the rules. I made a mistake here. I didn't stick to rules. I did have a lot going on. I sell real estate as well. I was super busy. And this one kind of got away from me. And then it was at a point where I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll go down. So I should have just stuck to the rules, lost my 150 and moved on. But now I'm trying to mitigate my risk by saying, okay, I'll eat the 650. But if we do end up coming back down here by next week, I'll end up making 1335 on it. So that's just a little tip for you. If you do find yourself kind of like a little bit overextended and it's about to expire on that day, and you do have some conviction that eventually at some point this is going to have to come back down, then you can kind of do what I did and create a roll out that trade and make sure you just try to get a little bit more credit than what you had. And then you can give it some more time and let it play out, and then hopefully you come back down. I did the same with Monolithic Power. I got kind of screwed on this one. So I had sold puts actually down here, and it came all the way down on me. And at one point I was down a decent amount, and I just did the same thing here and did a credit, and then we were able to come back up. So then now I'm going to probably end up about break even on that trade. So I'm able to kind of mitigate my risk instead of taking those huge losses. Yet another benefit of selling options. So I appreciate you for sticking around this long. Hopefully that gave you some value, showed you exactly what it is I was doing for the current trades where I'm making some money, and then how you could help yourself if you find yourself in a bad situation. But I'd highly recommend always sticking to the rules and just getting out of the trade if it goes against you. Thanks for sticking around this long. If you don't mind, like and subscribe if you found some value, and I'll catch you on the next one.